It's the kid, 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 it's the kid. It's your main man here, Double H, Halford, trying to live, trying to exist, trying to stay alive, trying to be the best guy to be. Trying to live. Trying to get Lampard sacked, trying to get Lampard sacked. Player mutiny, player mutiny, player mutiny, revolts, 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 man. So guys, this of course is the Q&A. The Q&A, the question and answer and all that shebang, man. 1 second. So, this is where you send in your questions. Remember, guys, to send in your questions every Friday from around 10 p.m., you go over to the website, and that is where you can send in your questions, send in your cues, and I will be here to answer your burning desires, answer your burning questions, and answer any kind of questions that you desire. So there have been some interesting questions that have been sent through the official website. And that's great. And look, man, it's been a crazy week, man. A mad week pertaining to Chelsea and so forth. The Dortmund are still messing up. Atletico have said what's up. So, and Liverpool, it's going to be a crazy Saturday night anger. Saturday night is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy because there is so much stuff to discuss. And yes, we will address Joseph Biscan. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo. So, let's see what you guys have put up there for your boy, man. So, for the first question of the day, man, this is from Damian Perez, man. Damian Perez, man, thanks for your cue. He says, HH, if Liverpool doesn't win the league, do you see Klopp calling out FSG for not getting enough squad depth? We have seen when Klopp is under pressure and results ain't coming his way, he can be a dick. I think... So I think the thing is, this is definitely interesting, man. I mean, I think this is definitely interesting because we've seen a different side of Klopp, and I always say that, the mark of a person, you are always known by how you operate when things are not going well. That's how we know who you really are. And I think that, Klopp has already come out and said, because I was just reading an article where Klopp said that, this isn't that basically like I don't own the transfer policy, that the transfer activity isn't down to me, that's or someone else makes the transfer. So you're like, so you don't make the transfers? So if you don't make the transfers, then who the heck makes the freaking transfers, man? So that's already made people just like, wait, what the heck? So so that's the one side of there. If they don't win the league, Klopp is definitely going to say something. Now, for him to come out and put the blame firmly on the FSG, I don't know. So I don't know whether he would do that specifically. But he will definitely, because he's already saying it now. He's already saying about how he doesn't make the transfers, and we're only like halfway through the season. So I think if they don't win the league, he will 100% look for an excuse. There is no way Klopp will just accept defeat and say, hey, look, man, it is what it is. We were unlucky, I could have done better or so forth. There is no way. And I think that's just a bit crass, Because it's the same thing that Conte did. And he was criticized for it. That Conte's like, yeah, we get that you didn't get your transfer targets, but you still have a quality team. You still have a good team, and you should have more belief in yourself as a manager that you can still say what's up, despite any kind of shortcomings that you may have. So that has always never really been something that I've sort of understood with managers who just always want to look for blame. So yeah, man, I mean, the season isn't over yet. And there could still be so many twists and turns left to go within the season. But from the way things are definitely looking, Liverpool are on the back foot. So if Liverpool are to win the league, they're going to have to completely turn things around, because City are looking good. And for me, City are really the team on pace, while United are now sort of shocking everyone by how consistent they're looking and how Pogba is saying what's up. But yeah, he has been slightly dickish, I would say. But yeah, just to end it, he will not accept defeat. he's going to blame someone and he's going to come up with an excuse if Liverpool don't win the league. Because I think what you've seen from Klopp is somebody who is desperate to defend the title. And you can smell the stench of his desperation for him to go back to back with Liverpool. And you've just been seeing the excuses mount up and mount up and mount up. And I think that hasn't translated to his team playing well. And I think for Klopp, if you're wise, focus on you and your team playing better rather than saying, oh, I didn't get this transfer here, I got an injury here, and so on. Because look, City got 998 points with De Bruyne injured. Many guys have to deal with several injuries. You just have to get on with it, bro. You have to get on with it. So yeah, thank you for that question, Mr. Damian Perez. Now this is an interesting one. This is from sorry. Oops, sorry. That's actually sorry. That's actually a little question. So from Matt B. Thank you for your question, Matt B. He says, do you think defending has been the worst it's ever been? An example is Barca fans telling me they prefer Longlets and Piqué over Umtiti and other young Barca defenders because they score goals and have good passing. I just find it stupid that they all still think it's okay after the 4-0, 8-2 and La Liga results from the past 2 years. Your thoughts? Yeah, look, for me, see, I've always said that defending has definitely gone down the drain. This is the worst period of defending that I know. Because the game always changes, and I think the game has not changed to where it's very midfield heavy. Because look, the striker has changed. What is required of the defender has changed, the goalkeeper has changed. The goalkeeper is now required to be good with his feet and play from the back. The striker is now required to be able to be good on the ball and link in play. The winger no longer exists. The winger has now been replaced by the inside forward. The role of the DM has now become even much more in demand. And I think that for defenders right now, it's just not enough that you can defend, i.e. you know how to time in your tackles without fouling, you know how to position, and you know how to put yourself in places to block. Now for defenders, they're not looking, so how good are you on the ball? Can you play from the back? So it's very hard to find pure defenders. But where Barcelona are concerned, you need a defender, because I'll keep it real with you. I think we have to revisit the Puyol conversation and talk about Puyol with regards to was Puyol, because I think when Puyol was around, I was like, yeah, he's and so forth. But once you saw Puyol leave and you saw all these guys take his place, now you realize just how important Puyol was, because Puyol was just a pure defender. He wasn't great on the ball. He was okay on the ball, but he knew how to tackle. He was aggressive. He was intense. It was hard to get past him, and he just knew the mechanics, and he understood the discipline of how to be a defender. And I think for Barcelona fans, as you said, especially after getting Lara Croft at 4-0 and 8-2, you need defenders. You just need defenders. You just need guys you need to be in a position where, okay, we're going to keep a clean sheet. So if we can just get a goal or 2 goals, we've won the game. You don't want to, it's a situation where, we need 3 or 4 goals because we're going to allow in 2 or 3. So yeah, because I think, because it's a different world. It's a different football world that we're living in, where defenders are not appreciated. The defenders are not heralded. And I think the danger is, if you're young now, so if let's say you're 9, 10, 11, 12, these guys now are not understanding the kinds of things that Maldini, Baresi, Desai, these guys sort of understood with regards to positioning, which is very key: positioning, anticipation, the reading of the game. And without that, because I think we're now in a world where the defending is pressing. And I feel that, do you know what got rid of the defenders? It was your boy, Pep, and Barcelona. Because they said that rather than have defenders, just press and keep possession, which means that defenders have less defending to do. So if everybody presses, I will make it difficult for the opposition to get the ball from point A to point B. That means we don't need to do that much defending, and instead we can now train our defenders on being able to be good on the ball, because the approach is now possession. So if you logically think about it, the more possession we have, the less attacks the position will have, the less times that our team will have to do defending if we keep hold of the ball, which was the mindset that Spain and Barcelona had. But I first think that possession is now sort of going away, and we're now going into a more aggressive attacking era of football, which is now you're now seeing the importance of Van Dijk. You're seeing the importance of Ruben Diaz. So I believe, right, see, this past decade was the decade of possession and how teams look to get possession and press. I think this next decade, we're going to see the return of the defender, because I think this is going to be an even more attacking era than it was in the past decade. So because it's now going to be much more attacking, much more open, team now going back to taking much more risks, you now require people who now know how to defend, specifically in transition. But yeah, for Barcelona, I think you need to get some freaking defenders, bro. Thank you for that question, Matt B. All right, okay, that's a cool one now. So, from Arpon Diaz, he says, how would you rank the top 5 European leagues this season based on competitiveness and entertainment? 1 being the best and 5 being the worst. So, if we say top 5, so that's La Liga, Serie, Premier League, Bundesliga, Liga 1. So, based on competitiveness and entertainment, Liga 1 is bottom. I also say that is bottom. Even if PSG have struggled, I also say Liga 1 is 5. I would say, because remember, so this is tricky. You say competitiveness and entertainment. That's a tough one. I need to think about it. Let me take a drink. Competitiveness and entertainment. Because guys are saying what's up to Bayern. Guys are really saying what's up to Bayern Munich right now. But I will still say Bayern. So I'll still say Bundesliga 4. The top 3. Competitiveness and entertainment. I'm going to say, as of right now, I am going to say Serie. No. I will say Premier League, Serie, La Liga. That's what I'll say. So Premier League is 3 because I see competitors and entertainment. Premier League is very competitive. I think it's still very competitive, one of the most competitive leagues. The quality of football in the Premier League is trash. I think the entertainment, the fans, the clubs, the storylines, the narratives covers how trash the football is. The football, in terms of just the quality of football from top to bottom, is trash. With regards to the Serie, I think the quality of football in the Serie is still pretty good. It's still pretty good, and it is this season. It's very competitive because Juve are really like look. Juve lost 3-0 to Fiorentina, and Juve lost to Inter Milan. So I think, especially with what AC Milan are doing, with what Roma are doing, Napoli. Look at what Napoli are doing without their main man Osimhen. I think Serie this season is getting pretty competitive, and I think this has probably been the most competitive Serie has been in a while. I think it was pretty competitive last season, but I think even more so now because of the AC Milan feature and also Napoli within their second season under Gattuso. For me, La Liga is number 1. Is that Barcelona and Real Madrid are struggling. Alcoyano, Corneo. This is Corneo. So those guys have been freaking struggling. So, yes, Atletico are going crazy with a crazy winning record. But I think that Atletico is not like if they're blowing teams away. They're beating them, but they're not blowing them away. And the big dogs and the dogs who we say have normally been dominant, Real and Barca, they've been struggling. So whether it's an Elche, whether it's a Granada or so forth, like if this was like 2011 or 2013, when you see Barca Granada, you're like, okay, 7, 8, or 9. Real Madrid against Elche, 7, 8, or 9. Right now, if Barca playing Elche or Granada, you have no idea what the score is going to be, both home or away. And La Liga, just in terms of just quality of football, i.e., everybody knows how to play with the ball at their feet. The ball is kept on the ground. It is intricate. It's intelligent. So that quality has always been there. And again, look at what Bilbao did to Barcelona with your boy Iñaki Williams. So that's the whole thing. So yeah, so I think that's what. So La Liga 1, Serie 2, Premier League 3, Bundesliga 4, and number 5 is Ligue 1. Thank you for that question, big man. So coming in, so our next one right now. So this is our final one. This is our final bonanza. So from big man Jonas Philbeck, who says, "Hi, question for Q&A. Make your all-time Africa 11 based on ability and career they had. You must include a manager and 7 players. Oopsie daisy on the bench. Psst. Alex Jeremiah's song, aka the African PLO, gotta at least make the bench. Come on, bro. Thanks for answering. Shout out to your boy Jonas, the horseman, and a very, very, very generous contributor to the football hangers. Very, very thankful for his contributions. You see, so 7 players on the bench. So I'll see now. I did the 11, and I already have a manager in my head. And I did the 11, but maybe you guys can help me with the 7 players on the bench. So this was tricky. So hence why, see, that's why I told you guys that anytime you want me to do like an 11, you have to ask. So I'm not going to do an 11 if you just ask me this on live chat. So you have to give me time. So I took time in thinking about this. So what I focused on here was that double whammy. Ability and career they had. And I think doing this, I just remembered something. Wait a minute, I just remembered something. Yeah, man. So actually, well, you know what? I've got to do this. I've got to do this, man. Yeah, this is how I wrote. So this was tough. This was a really tough one. And man, I'm thinking that, did I forget people? Did I not forget people? But I just think that based on, because I was just focusing on career they had and their ability. And when you say career they had, it could be either or. They either were exceptional internationally or they were exceptional club-wise. Either or works for me. So this is what I came up with. So this is my team, as you can see. So now the keeper was tough because there are not really many top keepers around. Like in terms of like, okay, this is like a quality all-time keeper. There are not many around. So I lean more towards ability. People say the whole black goalkeeper thing and stuff. Vincent Enyema, excellent keeper, an excellent quality keeper. He had a falling out with Son Deluse, hence why he was no longer in the team. But with regards to a keeper, absolute money. He was absolutely cash money as a keeper. So my back four was Babayaro, Sami Kufo, Koulibaly, and Lauren. So it was tough figuring out a defender. So Babayaro, I couldn't think of any other left back that I could think that's. So I learned much more on ability to say I couldn't think of anyone else apart from Babayaro. Lauren, you see, Lauren was not the most amazing right back. But the thing about Lauren was he was part of that Arsenal Invincibles. It is what it is. You're part of one of the great teams, one of the great club sides in history. And remember, even if he had the most awkward, weirdest penalty technique, he's crazy. His penalty technique was looked so crap, but I don't think he ever missed. I don't think he ever missed a penalty. So I went with Sami Kufuor and Koulibaly. See, Koulibaly, ability. With regards to career, he's not really won much, but I just think he's definitely been, he's one of the best African defenders, I think, in history. Sami Kufuor, I went with also his career, because I believe that after that crazy night at the camp against United, a year afterwards, he won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. So I think we just look at the Bundesliga titles and that Champions League title that he won with Bayern Munich, coupled with the fact that he was also a very good, strong defender. I put Sami Kufuor in there. So, you see, Jonas, my thing was this, is that I tried my hardest to put Alex Song here. Jonas, I tried my hardest to put Alex Song here. I couldn't do it. And I knew I was missing something. So my midfield is a 3 of Yaya Toure, JJ Okocha, and Abu Trika. So you have to put Yaya Toure in there. One of the best African midfielders of all time. An absolute incredible dude. He was a limited DM under Pep for Barcelona, and then got turned into this marauding, incredible box-to-box midfielder. And while Drogba retired, he stayed with Ivory Coast and got Ivory Coast that Nations Cup where they beat Ghana. Okocha, now people will have questions about his career. The most talented African football player of all time. One of the most naturally talented football players of all time. I don't give a crap when anyone says he's one of the most naturally talented football players of all time. Do your freaking Googles and then you will see. I don't want to hear anything. You're going to have Abu Trika here. Won the Nations Cup in 2006. Then 2 years later won it in 2008, scoring in the final. And I think he is an African legend because you were part of one of the most successful sides in Africa. So for me, the Abu Trika thing is quality player, but specifically with his career and his achievements for that Egyptian side. Hence why Abu Trika had to be here. So I went for a 3 here of Kanu, George Weah, and Samuel Eto'o. So for Kanu, he can play him. So for me, I put Kanu in here as a number 10 because Kanu was a very unique kind of player with regards to how he played, because he leans much more on his technique rather than, because again, he wasn't very fast, he wasn't very strong because he was very long and lanky. So I just think that him in that number 10 position would be money. And this was actually the position that he played pretty much for Nigeria when we won the Olympics in '96. And for Kanu, won the Champions League with Ajax in '95, won the Copenhagen Cup with Inter Milan in 1998, I think, where they had Ronaldo, and I believe he won the double under Wenger for Arsenal. So, and also won the Olympics with Nigeria, and he was a quality player. Go onto YouTube and look at the treble that look at the hat-trick he scored against Chelsea. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And then for my strikers, I mean, see, this was the easiest one with the strikers is George Weah and Eto'o. George Weah is still the only African player to win the Ballon d'Or. AC Milan, a legend and one of the great strikers of his generation, one of the great strikers of all time. And I think the reason why I have a close affinity to AC Milan is because of Weah. Weah is the reason why I followed Milan, and Milan were my side in Italy, because of George Weah. Huge, massive influence for me. And Eto'o, Eto'o, taking everything into account, Eto'o is probably the greatest African player of all time. If you look at, he is top 10 strikers of all time. If you're making a strikers list, I would argue that he is top 10 strikers of all time. You can make that argument. And what's it called? Treble for Barcelona, treble for Inter Milan, and he won the Nations Cup twice. So I believe he won the Nations Cup with Cameroon in 2000 and in 2002. Of course, in 2000 was where they beat Nigeria in Nigeria as well. The manager, call me biased, I don't really care. Stephen Keshi. Stephen Keshi is the manager. I think that he's one of the best African managers out there. Stephen Keshi. 7 subs. Woo. So definitely Drogba, Alex Song. Now people may not remember this man. There was this guy, and and people may forget about him. The 2002 World Cup. Dude called Silva. Senegalese keeper. Dude called Silva. I'm gonna have him in there. Uche Okechukwu as my defender dude, and of course you have to have Salah and Mane. And Salah and Mane make my. So Salah, Mane, and one more. Tony Yeboah. Why not? So yeah, that was my thing, man. So look, that was tough to do. That was very, very tough to do. But I felt that I did that justice, man. So guys, send in your questions. I'm now going to take live questions from the chat. I'll take live questions from the chat. Send in thy questions, lads. Send in thy questions. You guys are sick. You're sick. Don't do that. You guys are sick. Send in thy questions, man. Send in thy questions. So, should Chelsea get Messi to use his player power to get? No, for me, the issue is there's no David Luiz. I think that if David Luiz was still around, I think I'll mad this man. You better. It's because of your club that Chelsea are where they are right now. So don't be slick. Don't you dare be slick. So should get for me. I think look, it's not about that. I think that if Luis was still around, he could definitely have been one of the guys to use their player power to get this dude the heck out of there. But because it's not there, it is what it is. It is what it is. But it would be helpful though. I think if Messi was in the camp, I think he would be able to use his player power. So maybe. HH, do you still think Liverpool will win the Premier League? We're definitely going to have to discuss this on Saturday for sure. We're going to have a deep discussion on this. I'll keep it a stack, man. Keeping it a stack. It's looking difficult now, but you don't want to be reactionary, because things ebb and flow. At one point, it seemed as if nothing can solve it. I can remember it was when Liverpool beat Leicester City with all those injuries. You're like, oh man, nothing's going to stop Liverpool. But things have not changed. But things could so very easily change back and change again, man. So I still think. So now your question is, do you still think Liverpool will? See, will is a strong word. If you replace Will with Khan, I still think they can win the Premier League. Will they win the Premier League? That's a bit tricky. That right there is a bit tricky whether they can or not, man. Did I miss a super chat? Okay, let me get there. Sorry. From Footy Wizard, bro, One Division is quality so far. I think it looks like trash, but Footy Wizard, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight, and I will give my thoughts. I've got it all hooked up and so forth. I will watch it and I'll give my thoughts. It looks like complete trash, but people have said it's amazing and so forth. So I will give it the good old Balambingi. From Itis Merchants, H, can you name me your top 5 defenders of all time? Top 5 defenders of all time. Because we did it before on one of the hangouts. So it was. Now I'm gonna say the ones that I've seen because I hate when people say, "Oh, blah blah blah," the usual ones. So this is the ones that I've seen. Desai, Nesta, Maldini, now you said defenders. You didn't say, you didn't specify. So when you say defense, so you know what? I'm going to answer it both ways. If we're just central defenders, just purely central defenders, just central defenders, Desai, Nesta, Maldini, Baresi, I'm going to say Rio. Kobe Crazy, I'm going to say Rio Feds. I'm putting him above Cannavaro. So yeah, those are my 5. Maybe just say defenders in general. Bart Simpson, Lam, Desai, Nesta, Ashley Cole, then partner still possibly Rio. But so you always have to think about those ones. But I think the ones you can never get past are like the ones that are stalwarts are Desai, Nesta. Desai, Nesta, Baresi. Those are stalwarts. And I think people sleep on Rio. Man. And of course, we see John Terry, special mention for John Terry, peak John Terry was crazy, but if it's between peak John Terry and peak Rio just goes over there. I remember we talked about defensive partnerships. The best defensive partnership for me, Rio and John Terry, 100%. Rio and John Terry, 100%. From Footy Wizard, Bale is the best athlete in football history. Best combination of speed, strength, and power I've seen. Is he though? So is he say Bale is the best athlete in football history? Best athlete. Cristiano has. You've got to put Cristiano there. You have to put Cristiano there because look at even if you look at early Cristiano, like you look at his acceleration, his speed, and he then develops his power. But I think when Cristiano developed his power, I think he lost a bit of his speed and his explosiveness. So he doesn't have the same explosiveness that he once had for Man United. So I think that's because of an injury or so forth that he had. But once he now had his power, but you now look at his power, his jumping strength and so forth. So I may put Cristiano ahead of Bale in terms of just as an athlete, but Bale is definitely in there. But put Cristiano up in there, bro. What else are you guys saying, man? Oh no, we say Baresi played in the 80s. His era was the 80s. So his final game, I believe, was like in 94, the World Cup final in 94, where he was man of the match in our final, man. That is the best defensive performance I think anybody has ever had in a game was Baresi in the World Cup 94 final. Why Vilton? So, what was your question on the website? Maybe it didn't come through. What was your question? So I saw interviews with ex-players at the Best Awards a couple of years back. How did you get invited to the event, and was it a good experience? Freaking great experience, an amazing experience. So basically, I was working for this company called basically UFF. You must have when we were doing Fan Park Live. the company that ran Fan Park Live was a company called UFF, and they obviously and the one of the guys had links to FIFA and so forth, and they obviously had links to the FIFA event. So they then invited a bunch of us to that FIFA event as sort of like influencers, and then that is how I got to interview ex-players. And I'm going to be releasing a video very soon. Thank you for actually sending me the question. I'm going to be releasing a video very soon, and it's going to be a video where I'm going to need your guys' help. I'm going to need the help of you guys for this. So watch this space. Just watch this space. Very, very carefully, man. So no, it was an amazing experience. I mean, it was the actual events. When they were sort of talking about like the best goal, all that kind of stuff, like blah blah. But seeing Shevchenko, seeing Di Matteo, oh my god, seeing JJ Okocha for real was insane. And I was trying not to fanboy when I was around Okocha, but just seeing like Shevchenko and Okocha, like guys who I used to like Shevchenko, that was like my Sunday. Every Sunday, watching football at Italia and so forth, and seeing Shevchenko doing his thing. Okocha, if you're Nigerian, Okocha is your idol. Okocha is literally your idol. So, and I even said to the guys that, bro, I don't think you understand how big of a deal this is for JJ Okocha. But as I say again, I am working on a little video, because there is one guy who I have to meet. There is, and you know who that player is. There's one player who I have to meet. I have to meet him, and I must meet him before it's too late. And I don't know how. Either meet him or just have an interview with him. There's a player that I must communicate with. I have to communicate with. So I am working on that, bro. Hopefully. From my boy Philly Wizard, who said that no, Bale has a faster sprint time and a higher jump than Cristiano, and is definitely stronger. Search it up. Okay, see, if somebody has actually done the actual things, then okay, but I strongly doubt Bale's jumping, projection, and his hang time is to the degree of Cristiano. It is just known that Cristiano's jumping straight and his hang time is one of the craziest stats we've ever seen. Like as good as what Pele was doing. Cristiano at Man United, did Bale truly have better acceleration and a better sprint? I don't know. I mean, I am doubtful of that. I'm doubtful that he had a better sprint than him. That's just what I'm saying, man. I doubt that. Which all-time 11 would win, South America or Europe? Right now, South America would lubricate Europe. I think so. Right now, Europe would win. Yeah, and Europe would win very easily. All time, South America would win. All time South America would win. I just think because remember, Europe is basically Africa. So basically, South America are facing Europe and Africa. France load is crazy. So if you just say all of the European players plus all of the African imports. But if we're saying all time, because remember, if you're saying South America all time, that means you could also say Maradona, you're looking at Pele, you're looking at Ronaldo, you're looking at Ronaldinho, you're looking at Carlos Alberto, you're looking at Zico. And the all-time South American team is insane. It's absolutely insane. Let's just see. HH, do you think Bundesliga is an easy league for attacking players? Almost all teams play a very high defensive line and attacking. A lot of attacking Bundesliga players flop in the Premier League or other leagues. Yeah, I mean, look, it's something to ponder because I think Daniel, my homeboy Daniel, Danny T, he raised the whole thing of should we really be giving the Bundesliga so much kudos that maybe the Bundesliga ain't really as great as we think it is, because of the amount of Bundesliga players that are coming to the Premier League and not able to say what's up. Hence why he's like, this whole Erling Haaland thing is, would he really say what's up as much as we think that he would, man? So, question. I think you have to raise questions. So this not to say, oh, the Bundesliga is trash. You have to raise questions. And so when I was asked a question about doing the ranking the European leagues, yeah, man, you've got to put Bundesliga at 4. Just above Liga on personally. I used to love Fanpack Live. I don't know why it's ended. The company just pulled the plug. It wasn't our fault. It was a lot of fun, and I think the company missed out on what could have been an amazing thing. But they just decided to go another route. I think the costs were running too high. It's because they had to rent out the studio and so forth. It's because the costs were running too high. They just pulled the plug, man, which was unfortunate, man. Thoughts on FIFA banning players from the World Cup, Euro, Copa America if they participate in this. Oh yes, I remember this question. For the World Cup, Euro, Copa America. That's wild though. Now that would be wild. Like for me, I find that unfair. I find that unfair. So, and you see now that's that. So what if so let's say you're in a situation right now where they will ban you, but I play for like Barcelona or for United, and remember, a Super League you're gonna have loads of money, way more. You're gonna have like a bigger pie. So you now not participating in the Super League means that you are saying goodbye to potentially like 200,000, 300,000 a week. But then if you choose that means you can't play in a World Cup or a Euro, and you know how important that is for some certain players. So that would be an interesting dilemma. But I think that FIFA doing that's unfair. But again, if you really want to stop the Super League from happening, that would be an interesting dilemma to put for guys. I think it's wrong, because my thing that it is what it is. It is what it is, and how can you punish players, or rather deny players, for trying to put some money into their pocket? Because if these players don't take part in the Super League, they ain't going to earn that same kind of money for their countries, and the clubs not in the Super League ain't paying what the Super League is going to be paying you, because once you're in our Super League, your pay will get higher, because the revenue you're going to be receiving will be higher. That's the whole point of the Super League, where it is less teams, but on a platform that would give you much more money than La Liga is giving you. Hence why teams in La Liga, Serie are pushing for it so much. It's because of the pandemic, because you kind of earn so much money in that market than you do where you are right now. But I just think that would be unfair, though. That would be unfair. Since KDB is out for 4 to 6 weeks and Vardy is out for 2 to 3 weeks, do you think Man United have a higher chance of winning the Premier League? What did I just say? What did I just say about a couple of minutes ago? Man City won the league without Doe. Man City got 98 points without De Bruyne. And City have shown that they are not dependent on De Bruyne. So for me, I don't think it's would give United a greater chance, because City know how to roll without them. The biggest loss to Man City would be Ruben Dias. If they lost Ruben Dias, that would be a huge. But they still have Laporte. But I just think Ruben Dias has arguably one of the most important players for Man City so far. Leicester City were never in the conversation. So even if they're missing Vardy, Leicester City would they're never in a realistic title conversation. I don't care what the table says. Nah, they're not. But for me, yeah, City have shown that they can still ride without KDB. So that's never really been much of an issue. Dare I say so myself. There he is. There he is, handsome in the flash. Um, and handsome, I'm not asking that you're flipping, but Barbarezzi comment. Thoughts on Mandzukic signing for Milan? Milan are making some very interesting moves. They secured the signing of Tomori. They now secure the signing of Mandzukic. Some very interesting signings, man. I mean, Milan are looking tasty. And I think this is what even Gazidis is about. You know, Gazidis is coming in and he's making moves. If only Marina could morph into a Gazidis, then I think maybe Chelsea could be in a better position. So Mandzukic, very underrated. Mandzukic is one of the most underrated strikers out there. If you look at this guy's clutchness, his big game acumen. Remember, scored in the Champions League final. Scored in it. Yeah, so he has scored in the Champions League final. He has scored in 2 Champions League finals. He has scored in a World Cup semi, and he has scored in a World Cup final. Is Cristiano as good as Mandzukic? I'm just saying. Is Cristiano as good as Mandzukic? You know, World Cup semi, World Cup final, CL final, 2 of them. I mean, I'm just saying, bruh. Most naturally gifted underachiever in your opinion relative to their skill level. An example for me would be Robinho. Oh yeah, underachiever in your opinion. Mario. Has to be Balotelli. The biggest waste of talent I've ever seen. Robinho still did signing. Balotelli, if he had realized his potential, best striker of his generation, and coming crazy would be regarded as one of the best strikers of all time. The technique and the natural talent he had of striking a ball. I've not seen many players who could strike a ball as sweetly or as cleanly or as purely as Mandzukic. It's just as Balotelli. What a waste. And just see him now in freaking, is it Mons or something? So sad. So sad. You see, Charisma, he had his thing on the World Cup and at the Euros as well. But Charisma is another one because Charisma's talent was insane. Absolutely insane. And in a weird extent, you could say Okocha, because Okocha I felt should have had a more illustrious club career, but never really popped up for him, man. Yeah, so that's just where I'm going to roll with, man. Mario Balotelli. All right. Let's see. Oh, God. From Yasir Saeed. Yasir, thanks for the dub, man. Thanks for the dub. Frank or Stevie, who's a better manager and player? Oh. Bro, you could argue that Stevie's a better manager and player. He's definitely a better manager right now because look at what he's doing with Rangers and so forth. And we have yet to see any blemish on Gerrard's management thing. What's that for Lampard? Pretty good for Derby County. Impressive Chelsea first season. This season has been a complete disaster, and his handling of the media is horrendous as well. Gerrard, if you had to take between both of them, I may have to slide it with Gerrard. I think Gerrard had more to his game than Lampard. The main thing in Lampard's game was his goal scoring and his shooting. Like he was an amazing goal scorer. But Gerrard is the shooting, the tackling, the passing, and versatility, adaptability, ability to play several positions. So, which is a skill in and of itself. So, okay, I now know how to play on the wing, or I now know how to play behind a striker, or I know how to play in the central midfield role. Okay, I can now go deeper. So for me, I just think that Gerrard overall was the better player. But Lampard was extremely good at that skill of breaking from midfield and shooting. So his goal scoring was next level. But if you just take everything into account, the whole pie, I think Gerrard was overall the better player. Because how great a player was Lampard? That's another thing, man. Oh, why, Ralph? Why? What's on Twitter? I pray homeboy has been sacked now. Oh my God. So is this? Oh, Mbappe. So Mbappe is. What? So, Kylian Mbappe, I'm currently considering extending my PSG contract. If I do so, it will be to stay in Paris for a long time. What? Oh, that is sad, man. Are German managers clear? Yeah, I mean, Hansi Flick, Klopp, Jupp Heynckes when it was about Otmar. Well, actually, was Otmar Hitzfeld German? I can't remember whether Otmar Hitzfeld was German. Of course, Beckenbauer. But I think overall, the best managers have come from Italy. If you take everything into account, and guys, I'll keep it real with you. They may not want to admit it. England don't have a good track record with managers. You know, England don't really have that great a track record of producing quality managers. But I think it has mostly been Germany and Italy that have produced managers. So I think right now you can just say Germany, Italy are like this, man. Brexit. Oh yeah, I mean on Mbappe, man. Look. That's sad. See, that right there is sad, man. That right there is sad. Let's see. So Gerrard Lampard was clearly the better player. Won more goals, more assists in less appearances. He was better for England. Gerrard's football IQ was shit. Okay, let me break this down. One more. What does that mean? He was part of a better team. Chelsea had a better team and a better manager than Gerrard and Liverpool, so that's obvious. More goals, 100%. More assists. Again, look at the quality of opposition. Look at the quality of players that he had around him. He had a freaking Drogba that he was assisting to, like one of the great strikers in the Premier League. So, yeah. So, and the whole thing with assists is somebody has to put away those chances. You know. So yes, Liverpool had Torres at the time, but Liverpool also had more brick strikers than quality strikers. So that assisting, I don't know. He wasn't better for England. Was this Lampard on the pitch when England failed to qualify for the Euros, where they lost to Croatia? You know, and trust me, I remember watching those England matches very clearly from somebody living in England, and the whole team was crap. Everybody underperformed. Gerrard, for me, did a little bit more than Lampard, and that is why I've always reserved judgments in praising Lampard as a player. Because as good as he was for Chelsea, he grossly underperformed for England. You know, when he was for England, I was like, this isn't the same player. And he just couldn't adapt to now playing with different players in a different system. So I sort of said that I've never rated Lampard that highly as a player. All I rated about Lampard was he was an amazing goal scorer. And he redefined what a midfielder could do. He's arguably one of the greatest goal scoring midfielders the game has ever seen. But as an overall player, questions, man. All right. Okay, what are you guys sending those cues, man? Sending those cues. 3 worst Chelsea managers in the Bram era: Lampard, Scolari, Villas-Boas. Simple. Those 3, man. The worst manager is Lampard. Because before Lampard, you could argue it was Scolari. I think Scolari was usually there for like 2 seconds, but Lampard is the worst manager because this is the worst Chelsea have looked in their brand. This is the worst Chelsea have looked since I've been following Chelsea since the mid-90s. The football is absolutely horrendous, man. Absolutely horrendous. Ancelotti is the best Italian manager at the moment. Do you agree? Where is Eusebio Di Francesco now? Because he was alright for Roma, but I think he got sacked. Didn't he? He's better than Conte. Everybody opinion. He's better than Gattuso. Yeah, I would say right now he's the best Italian manager right now. Right now, I think the work he's doing for Everton is flipping outstanding. Everton. Yeah, shit. I think Everton. Yeah, Everton are above Chelsea with a game in hand. So HH smoking one right now. Lampard was only half a level below the best passes in the world during his time. Was Gerrard ever the best midfield in the world? I can say Lampard was in 2005. For me, we have to just agree to disagree. I can only be honest. And I can't just change my views. I can only be honest with how I viewed it at the time. And when I saw Lampard at the time, the main thing that drew me to Lampard was, man, this guy is a great goal scorer. And this guy is scoring goals as a midfielder at the rate of a striker. That is just what's impressive. That is what sets him apart. I never viewed him as like a superb, amazing passer and so forth. Because if you're saying 05, are you saying Lampard was a better passer than Pirlo in 05? Are you saying Lampard was a better passer than Seedorf in 05? Are you saying he was a better passer than Ronaldinho in 05? Just say, are you saying Lampard was a better passer than Pirlo and Seedorf? No, I'm just saying, That's what I'm saying. Is England's golden generation the most overrated international side ever? Probably, yeah. And that's down to the English media, because I remember picking up a newspaper and so forth, and this guy saying, oh my gosh, these are guys, and see, this is what they never understood. They just felt that, wait a minute, these guys, are winning, their, what's it called? They are getting into Champions League finals, they've won European trophies, they are playing against these big teams and so forth. They are scoring all these goals, they're looking so good. Why can't they do it as a team? Because you can look a certain way playing under a certain manager and playing with certain players, and that is very different from when you now have to translate that into playing for England, which is a different team, a different system under a manager. I think what you saw from the golden generation was how good were they really as individuals. That's just the thing, like how good were these guys as individuals really, and that's why I'm saying, okay, so you've done all this stuff in the Premier League, hence why I told you that I can't rate Gerrard or Lampard that highly, because when they were not around, so when Gerrard didn't have Jabi Alonso, when Lampard didn't have Essien or Makalele, and it was now both of them, wasn't so good, bro. Keep it in a stack. All right. What else are you guys saying, man? We will probably do like another 20 minutes, man. Can Mount be world class by working hard without real talent? No, he cannot. And this is again something that people need to understand is that you need talent. You know, working hard is something that you should assume, which is where Balotelli falls short. That Balotelli, did he work hard enough? You know, because if you don't work hard, you will not realize your talent. But you need both. You can't be world class without any real talent. And my thing is that no matter how hard Mason Mount works, he'll never be as good as Ansu Fati. He'll never be as good as Ricky Puig, or as Pedris, or as Fede Valverde. You know, any of these young bucks. Even that kid as well, Kubo, or they're just guys that when you just see them, you know how good they are. And I'm having an argument with this Chelsea fan who says, "Oh no, there are things that Mason Mount does better than Ansu Fati." And you know, I said, you really want to now compare Mason Mount to Ansu Fati, where the world has already said, "Wow, Ansu Fati has entered the world." Nobody in the world talks about Mason Mount. The only people that talk highly about Mason Mount are specific Chelsea fans. There is nobody outside of Chelsea that rates Mason, and that's what Chelsea fans don't understand. Who outside of Chelsea rates Mason Mount? Who outside of Chelsea even talks about Mason Mount? Which top team is even considering getting a Mason Mount? But we know how people talk about Ansu Fati. You know, Pedri, he's already making waves right now. You know, Odegaard, he's already being on the map. We already know about Haaland. João Felix already knows. So there are guys that are already on the world map of the man. This guy is watching. Mason Mount he's not on any freaking world map. So yeah, he does have some talent, but his talent ain't that great, you know. He's a basic player. He's a good, decent base. He's an important squad player to have, but you can't build your team around him now because he's not that good a player. So, all right. And I have to answer Gerrard or Scholes. Scholes. I don't even have to pause Scholes, because you know whenever they have the whole thing of Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, easily. I think England's biggest mistake was they didn't build the team around Scholes. You know, Scholes should have been he should have been the main midfielder, but they're trying to fit in Lamb, but they're trying to fit in Scholes. They're trying to fit in Gerrard. They say, forget that. Scholes, we build it around him, and you now have to fit around Scholes. Either you can fit around Scholes or you can't. But Scholes, his technique, ball control, football IQ, intelligence, passing consistency, and everything. Just as a general footballing player, he was just on a much higher level than both Gerrard and for me. It's easy. Scholes was just a far better player than Gerrard and Lampard. You know, it's clear. Prime Nedved or Prime Bergkamp? Prime Bergkamp. Nedved was damn good and so forth. Bergkamp is one of the most technically gifted players of all time. The kinds of things that Dennis Bergkamp could do was insane. Nedved isn't scoring that goal that Bergkamp scored either against Newcastle or against Argentina at the World Cup. Dennis Bergkamp, as a player with the kind of ability that he had at his feet, on a whole other ball of wax, bro. From Brian KO2, thanks for the dub, man. HH, Jinx Ole, and is Griezmann the French Rooney? Yes, I am going to try and work on a Jinx for Ole. But don't you guys? There's a video coming out soon. There's a vid coming out very soon. Just hold on to your lunchbox. There is a vid coming out very soon. And is Griezmann the French Rooney? No. I think two very different players. Two very, very different players. But I'll keep it a start. Griezmann has a World Cup. Griezmann made it to a Euro final that he should have won. Griezmann made it to a World Cup and has won a World Cup. So for me, Griezmann's career eclipses Rooney's career easily, man. So, from Miguel Rabinez, thanks for the dub. Thank you for the dub. What do you think of Chelsea's new direction where they're playing a more attack style of football while integrating youth? That's why Allegri is off the list. You see, for me, this is the thing that's Chelsea. Hence why Nagelsmann is so interesting. Choose a philosophy and stick by it. Now, if it's for me, I would like an attacking philosophy that is attractive on the eye and is moving forward. But whatever it is, make sure that it comes with trophies and is so sustained. Hence why the Sarri project made so much sense. Because you saw what Sarri did with Napoli. Sarri is a big reason why he kind of broke the goal scoring record for Napoli. And I think if Sarri had this Chelsea team for 3-4 years, he would have built a very interesting style. Because remember, especially if you now give him players, more access to players and quality. And remember, he didn't have access to a transfer budget for Napoli. Chelsea would have been in a better position. So I think, am I thinking about integrating youth? Here's my thing about youth, man. I'm even making a video about this. Are they good enough to play in the first team? If they're not, I don't give a crap. Like Messi was too good to be ignored. I think Ricky Puig, that's too good to be ignored. You look like a Fede Valverde or any of these other young dudes. We're like, okay, boom. Rooney, for when he was 16 at Everton, he was too good to be ignored. Hence why he made his break at 16, 17, because that guy was good enough to be in the first team. Chelsea have to ask itself, is Mason Mount good enough to be playing for an elite team? Is Tammy good enough to be playing for an elite team? Is Hudson-Odoi good enough to be playing for an elite team? But for Hudson-Odoi, I think the guy may have some talent, because why are Bayern Munich looking for him? For Tammy and for Mason Mount, I've got questions. So my thing is about just don't integrate youth for the sake of integrating youth. Are these guys good enough? So don't give me that, these guys won a whole bunch of youth trophies. I don't give a crap. Can these guys say what's up if Chelsea play a Man City, a Liverpool, a Bayern, a Juventus, a PSG? If they can't, get them in the squad, give them some game time, but lean onto guys who can say what's up in the starting lineup. As I said again, from the names that were there, I would have wanted an Allegri, because he would come in to try to win. But if you now want to look long term and so forth, I think for me, Nagelsmann is the most exciting coach and manager out there right now. So I think if you get in Nagelsmann, give him the support, give him the tools that you need. He's obviously a very forward-thinking manager. I think that is a good long project to have. I do not want a project to be given to Lampard. Hell freaking no. He's the absolutely wrong dude to give that project to, man. And from the real Giannis, man, Red Star Belgrade or Steaua Bucharest, biggest underdog? Probably Red Star Belgrade. Didn't they win the freaking CL like in the 90s or something? Because Steaua Bucharest, I still think that they are still known, and I think Steaua Bucharest are a bigger club than Red Star Belgrade. So I think Red Star Belgrade saying what's up in that CL is definitely a bigger World Cup. Is a bigger underdog story, man. Yeah. All right. Full hot member Dan, what up, baby? What up, baby? What up, baby? Between the Griezmann, Fati, who do you think can carry the Barcelona attacking third? Be the difference making besides Messi? Between the Griezmann, Fati. See, the thing here is be very careful. And I think it's very important not to put too much pressure on Ansu Fati. So for me, because I don't want to jinx him or anything, let's just call off on Ansu Fati. So let me just say and Griezmann. If the Us come. I'm keeping it real with you. Just getting fit. Getting fit. Same thing was happening to Robin. People said, man, this guy's like glass. Once Robin finally got fit, one of the greatest players of all time. If Barcelona can just get the Us fit and getting free from injuries, he is a difference maker. Griezmann is a system match that needs to be put in the right place at the right time. The Us is a give me the ball player. For the Us, just given the ball, he's going to ride. He's going to ride and he's going to say what's up. So for me, I think that difference maker, you're looking at the Us. Griezmann is not a difference maker. He's like a guy in there. Ansu Fati, he's very young. And I think that it is wrong to put so much pressure on him to now say, oh, freak. You can't put the kind of pressure on a 17, 18-year-old to be a difference maker. That's why I'm going to say the Us. When is Ansu Fati back from injury? When is Ansu Fati back from freaking injury now? All right. Is Rafa Benitez Liverpool 05 CL winners or Mourinho's Inter 2010 CL winner? Inter Milan. Well, Liverpool did was amazing. It was truly amazing. But that Inter Milan team is one of the great teams. It is one of the great teams. That is an absolutely incredible, amazing side. It's an absolutely incredible, amazing side, and I think you can't sleep on how money they were. That side was money. That side was full on cash money. Because see, I never want to say Liverpool 05 like that. Was just look of look because they said what's up in that final. You just have to give them their dub and say what's up in that final. But for Mourinho, this is one of the great defensive sides I think I've ever seen. I cannot think of many defensive sides. Maybe if you go to Sarki's Milan, but I cannot think of many better defensive sides than Inter Milan. I told you one of them this channel's first big videos. One of this channel's first big videos was that 2010 semi second leg against Barca, where that piece of crap Busquets tried to get my boy out. 10 men, they defended like freaking donuts. Guys, I can't wait for the seal. I cannot wait for the seal, man. Coach, I'm done with them. Dortmund, man. Forget Dortmund. But coach, February, man. February. Coach, we just need to get rid of this manager. Coach, let's just get rid of this manager. Once you just get rid of this manager, get a good interim, get guys balling, coach will see you at Wonder. But coach, let's just first get rid of this manager, okay? Let's get rid of that manager, coach. We need to get rid of that freaking dude, man. And all right, let's see. Aside from Fergie, who are the manager horsemen? You've got to give a shout out to Saki. You've got to give a shout out to Beckenbauer. Got to give a shout out to what's that boy? The Del Bosque. And I think when everything is done, I think because we also have to look at who retired. I think when everything is done, I think Mourinho, Pep, and Klopp may even be part of that little crew. Kumbani, thanks for the dub, bro. What do you think about Nagelsmann defensively? Suspect for me. Now you may say suspect, or you may just say he doesn't have access to the quality of defenders, because he's a very attacking manager, likes to take risks, and it's a very young team that he has. I think is it Konate and Upamecano. So I think if, let's say, you give him better defenders who can read the game better and anticipate better, I think that will allow him to be able to say what's up a lot more, So, because remember, with every tactic, there's a pro and a con. If you're an attacking team, your defense is going to be open. If you're a defensive team, you're going to fall back on the whole attacking team. So, there's that either or. Trying to say what's up. Do you think Spurs will win a trophy this season? I don't. I really don't. They're not beating Man City in that final. Heck no. City are beating them. Actually, yeah, I think it's next month, isn't it? City are going to beat them in the Papa John's Cup. I don't see them winning the FA Cup. I think they'll be knocked out before the final. They're not winning the Europa League. That's not happening. And they're definitely not winning the Premier League. I just don't see them getting that trophy. The best chance at a trophy is the Papa John's Cup against Man City. I just think that they're missing that dude. They don't have that way, a dude, because I don't believe that Harry Kane can show up in the big time. Son is his thing. Son is the guy. Son is that dude, man. But Harry Kane, can you trust Harry Kane in a CL final? Can you trust him in an FA Cup final? I'm not sure. I've got questions. So no, I don't think your boy's going to win a trophy for those dudes, man. His thoughts on Haaland to Barcelona. Agents wants to improve relationship with them. Clause is 75 next year. Oh, next year Barca may have enough. Haaland can bring Barca back and it'll look good for him with Fatih Uz. Yeah, I mean, look, you've heard about Real Madrid, you've heard about Chelsea and so forth. So we're pertaining to Barcelona, 100%. And so the beauty of Barcelona getting a Haaland is you now have to change. Because Barcelona have to revamp and evolve, and they need to change their approach. Xavi in there anymore, Iniesta in there anymore. There's no David Villa. Messi is going to be gone. I think once Messi leaves, that is when Barca will be forced to now change their philosophy and their approach. It doesn't mean that you have to go defensively because Rijkaard was an attacking manager. Van Gaal was still a progressive manager, but the way that they attacked was different from how Pep did his thing. Villanova, Luis Enrique, and so forth. So you can still be attacking, but attacking in a whole different sense. I think Erling Haaland, who is just a pure striker and a pure finisher, I think that forces Barcelona to now play in a different way. So I think, Barca should aggressively go for that. And I think if they have that, and the surround, like again, if you have Haaland, and you now have Griezmann in behind him, and you had Us second through, Us, Griezmann, Haaland, that's an interesting front three that will now take Barca into a whole new way of playing and allow them to say what's up. All right. Yeah, it is cold. Guys, I don't give a damn about goat weight, man. Oh, HH wearing hats so we don't see that Mane hairline. You mean this hairline? Look, man. New shave, man. New shave. Alright, so I'm as bald as a Bolini. Bro. Alright? I'm as bald as a freaking Bolini. Alright, a few more minutes for you guys, man. Come on, guys, send me some interesting cues, man. Chelsea against freaking Luton Town. Let me be clear, I don't give a crap about the FA Cup. But yeah, I want us to definitely discuss La Liga because, guys, if Atletico win that game in hand, man, I think it's a wrap. I think it's a feature wrap. If they win that game in hand, I think it's like 9 or 10 points clear. So Atletico are looking crazy. And the crazy thing is the freaking Carnival. So, it's so bad, man. So, Koeman said, Carnival, screw you. Carnival, screw me? Going to Atletico is not saying what's up for Atletico. And the scary thing, I think, that's this just looks scary ahead of that match against Chelsea. So Chelsea are now have to basically eighth place Chelsea that could be ninth, now have to face the best team in Spain. But as I say, impossible is nothing. I'm holding on to a little itty bitty shot of hope, just an itty bitty shot of hope, man. Wilson, winning La Liga. Relax, bro. Relax. Fraud, man. Thoughts on the Tomori deal? What Christian really got? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. See, this stuff is just all confusing because the way Lampard was talking, it was as if, Tomori is still saying so. He was saying in his press conference, oh no, the deal is not done. Mate, the deal was already pretty much finalized days ago. But it's wild because I don't know what Tomori did wrong. So my thing is this a Marina Klopp decision or is this a Lampard decision? Because if it's a Lampard decision, how can you look at Christensen and Rudiger and tell me that these guys who are prone to mistake after mistake are better options than Tomori? Freaking wild. It makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no freaking sense whatsoever, man. Lampard, man. All right, really good. So last question here. I'll take one last question before your boy's out of here, man. One last cue before I'm out of here, man. Before I'm out of here, ready to fly. His head is face like a testicle. Wait. The fan of Barcelona, do you think so negatize? Alright, that's way. So trying to understand this. Issue with the decline of Barca and Real, do you think two-leg time matches should return at least until the semis, so that the Copa del Rey doesn't become irrelevant? So what? See, I think you need to understand it. So, do you think two-legged ties matches should return at least until the semis? So, are you saying that Copa del Rey right now is only one leg? I think, isn't it? It's only one leg because of the freaking pandemic. So they can't do two legs. Yeah, them doing two legs makes no freaking sense. No, you can't do two legs because of fixture congestion. The congestion is just way too congested, man. Okay, you know what? Okay, last, because I've seen two really good. The last two questions. So, the most overrated player of all time, in your opinion, David Beckham, 100%, the most overrated player. Could do, was a specialist as I was doing a few skills, but people talked about him as one of the great players. Never ever a top player, and I never understood why people rated him so highly. He was decent, good at dead ball pieces, but as an overall player, average. Now, okay, now this is prime Kanse versus prime Makalele. I'm going to say prime Kanse. See, prime Makalele was obviously amazing at a position, and he pretty much invented a position, i.e. the DM who just sits. But for me, the reason why I go with Kanse is he has more to his game. I don't think Makalele was as good on the ball. I don't think Makalele was as technically gifted as Kante is. So basically, Kante can do Makalele's role. Maybe not to the same degree of Makalele, but he can still do Makalele's role. Makalele can't do what Kante can do. Kante can do what Makalele can do. Makalele can't do all the things that Kante can do. Because Kante can play higher up the pitch. He can score. He can distribute the ball. His reading of the game is superb. His interception is superb. So I'm gonna say prime Kante. I'm gonna say a prime Kante. People are telling me prime Kante, man. So guys, man, that is it from me, man. So guys, remember we're back here on Saturday. Saturday, 10 p.m. Hangouts, man. We'll talk Liverpool. We'll talk Cristiano. Maybe even Joseph Biscan. Maybe we'll talk Lampard. We'll talk Atletico Madrid. Everything to do with football will come in. So join us in the Hangouts. The Hangouts, remember, that pops off 10 p.m. GMT. And of course, the Sunday Hangouts. Guys, peace out. Stay true. One love. Remember to like and subscribe and do your thing. Peace out. One baby. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here. And to view that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.